People come to Tampa for its close access to miles of endless beaches, its professional sporting teams, its rich Spanish and Latin heritage, and of course, its obsession with pirates. They leave, then, with memories. During the time period surrounding World War II, Tampa supplied people with different kinds of memories. A short drive down an old railroad access road led me to a patch of old asphalt and concrete. I had stumbled upon forgotten memories of Tampa's past. How did I come to find this place, and why was it here? As I walked through the campus of the University of South Florida one day, I passed through the breezeway of the John and Grace Allen building. I noticed a mural on the wall. The mural told the story of how USF came to be. The land that USF now sat on used to be part of an old and forgotten Army airfield. I was standing on forgotten history, forgotten memories. I was intrigued with this kind of history because I am a veteran of the U.S. Army who served in Operation Enduring Freedom in Afghanistan. There were 3 Army airfields in Tampa during World War II. Drew Army Airfield, MacDill Army Airfield, and Hillsborough Army Airfield. The land from Hillsborough County in the city of Tampa was used for these airfields. Drew Army Airfield's land was given back after World War II and became known as Drew Field Municipal Airport. It went from military operations to commercial and civilian use. Drew Airport's name was changed to Tampa International Airport when the airport started to serve flights coming from Canada. Sitting in the South Tampa area was and is MacDill Army Airfield. MacDill has not changed much and is now a fully operational United States Air Force base. MacDill is also home to U.S. Operations Central Command. Hillsborough Army Airfield opened in 1943. During World War II, Hillsborough Army Airfield served as a training facility for the 42nd Fighter Squadron, equipped with P-51 Mustangs. Hillsborough Army Airfield was also an auxiliary airfield for support and training and overflow airfield for emergency landings of students assigned to the main bases. In a January 27, 2002 Tampa Tribune article, the last base commander at the Hillsborough Army Airfield, Ainsley Watson, said, "The airfield had one hangar, a control tower, and a concrete building, where the fighters were parked." Mr. Watson said the base normally had about 28 planes on the field at one time. On May 10, 1945, 2 days after VE Day, training ended and the airfield was closed. Personnel and equipment were reassigned to Pottersville Army Airfield, California. The base was officially closed on May 23, 1945. After the war, the land was returned to the county and the airfield became a civil airfield, known as Henderson Airport. Henderson Airport operated until the mid-1950s. The land that the old airfield sat on began to be subdivided and sold off. According to Jim Stahl, in the late 50s, teenagers and young adults used the runways for drag racing. Crowds of people would gather to watch. The police constantly tried to stop it with no luck. The racing came to a stop when ditches started to be dug across the runway just prior to the development and repurposing of the land. In 1957, the Joseph Schlitz Brewing Company bought 45 acres of land on the northwest side of the old airfield to build a state-of-the-art brewing operations. The building has since changed ownership and is now home to the Yuengling Brewery. The Yuengling Brewery sits on the west side of what was the runway that ran east and west. A good portion of their distribution operations still uses the old runway as a parking lot. The University of South Florida campus began construction in 1957 on the north side of the airfield. Today, USF is one of the largest public universities in the nation, and among the top 50 universities, public or private, for federal research expenditures, and also my soon-to-be alma mater. In 1959, on the south end of the airfield, Anheuser-Busch built a brewery in Busch Gardens as a way to show off their beer. The brewery no longer exists, but Busch Gardens is now an African-themed amusement park. A portion of the old runway To the north of Adventure Island Water Park is still being used by Busch Gardens as a driver training area. People began to use the old airfield as a place for recreational activities. Here is a 1967 photo of Lonnie Corbez and two friends that was taken at the old airfield. It shows them as they learn how to fly radio-controlled model aircrafts. Today, a large section of the land behind the Yuengling Brewery serves as recreational fields for soccer that are managed and maintained by the Chargers Soccer Club, which provides soccer opportunities for players throughout the Tampa Bay region. Mel's Hot Dogs opened in 1973. According to the restaurant, their building is the last known surviving structure of the old airfield. Today, you can sit inside of the last surviving building of the Hillsborough Army Airfield and enjoy a delicious Chicago-style hot dog. By 2005, most of the runways were still fairly intact. Most sections were completely dug up or repurposed as parking lots, commercial parks, and housing for students and residents. Today, the remains of the old airfield are unknown to most that drive by it every day. New infrastructures are being built on top of what was left. All that remains of the Hillsborough Army Airfield are patches of asphalt and concrete, one building, an aerial photo, and memories, similar to the memories Jeff Rice had of Woodward Avenue in his book Digital Detroit. The history of a place may not be the same history of that place today.